All right, and we are live. Welcome everyone that's watching both in our Personality Quest Club, everybody here that's present with us in Orlando, Florida, and also watching on the live stream right now. We're also live streaming this on YouTube just for a few minutes to get started. Really welcome everyone to this event. We're going to be doing something very special. Normally we gather every Sunday at 11:45 with a group of like minds, and we tune into the Personality Quest podcast for some of the content that we do. But today, we actually going to do a special event for our Quest Club membership. We have a bunch of students that have been here all week that have been studying the art of personality profiling. So we've had this 5-day personality hacker event around, we call it profiler training. It's a 5-day event. Students have been working, everybody here in the audience has been working for 6 months, preparing, studying, learning all of the information in order to be able to come to this event, do what's called embodiment exercises, understand how all of the 8 Jungian cognitive functions show up and all the different aspects of those. We get into those experientially. And then at the very end of the week, everybody gets to do a live profiling session with a volunteer. And so we had a lot of volunteers. And in fact, people maybe joining us right now on Zoom that volunteered yesterday. I invited people that joined us yesterday to be volunteers to come back today to be part of this very special experience. So we have Dr. Dario Nardi has also been with us this week at Profiler Training. And he also is going to be joining us here at Quest Club today to talk a little bit about the 4 subtypes. We did a little bit of work this morning with people. We had some groups over here. We were doing some workshopping, getting into some of the different subtype energies. And this afternoon, during this presentation, in just a few minutes here, when we go into the actual experience, Dario is going to guide us through some breath work, some different breath techniques, actual physical things, and also a little bit of, I've heard it's going to be mild yoga. I don't know what that exactly means. I'm not sure if it's like
cherry yoga.
Cherry, yeah. So is cherry, am I saying that right? Cherry yoga? Chair yoga. I thought you said cherry yoga. Like cherry yoga. My extrovert intuition is trying to pattern recognize cherry yoga. Okay. This must be some technique, some discipline of yoga. Chair yoga, yes, in your stationary. And if you're watching at home, here on the Quest Club call, feel free to do it where you are. It's something I think you can do right from where you're sitting or engage with us live today. So Dario's been talking about the subtypes this morning. Dario, would you be willing to come up and just help us frame a little bit what we're about to experience in a moment? Maybe you and I can have a conversation just briefly to get a sense for maybe people that weren't here this morning, just catch everybody up, and also just a real succinct moment where we can talk a little bit about the subtypes, the personality type subtypes. Mm-hmm. What does this mean? I know we talked a little about this morning, but also maybe just give a little bit of refresher for some of the folks that were volunteering yesterday that are now joining us on the Quest Club.
Sure, absolutely. So the word subtype, I mean, it sounds exciting, right? I'm going to find my even smaller box. No, these are really developmental variants. So there are things that we have choices. We can make changes in our lives. The brain changes, and this comes out of the neuroscience, so that there's dominant, creative, normalizing, and harmonizing. This is not just me, this language has a tradition from Dr. Victor Golenko. There's also Dr. Helen Fisher's work in neurotransmitters. So it makes sense to include something like yoga when we want to embody an experience. So the dominant subtype is going to be confident, assertive. So we're going to actually practice some confident and assertive energy. And then creative is more like a little bit all over the place. You can imagine. Have your rhythm when you're doing that. And then normalizing and harmonizing also have some breath work and some style. The normalizing, you're going to get into a normalized rhythm and doing something. And the harmonizing is really about being receptive and connecting both to yourself and to the space.
Thank you. I think it's important to remind everybody that you are your Myers-Briggs 16 personality type. Like, well, I shouldn't say you are. Those are your type preferences. We're not talking about yet another type, like static type. These are basically flavors, variants, ways of expressing your core type. So we're not talking about an actual like static, like I'm a creative ENFP. Those are my preferences. It's like I can dip into all the different 4 energies, right? I have those available to me throughout my life. And different times of our life, we were talking about this morning, different parts of that might be expressed. As I get older and wiser and slow down maybe, that might actually put me into maybe a more receptive mode, more harmonizing mode. And so as we grow through life, we have different energies. Our work and career or our life circumstances or context can often put us in a place where it pulls out different aspects of who we are, right? And so for you, INTJ preferences, not all INTJs are created equal. We looked at a lot of videos this morning. We were looking through different examples of the same personality type, INTJ, expressing in a dominant way, in more of a harmonizing way, more of a creative way, or more of a normalizing way. And we were kind of getting a compare and contrast with that. And then we had some small group work to kind of tune into these energies. And all of us, I think, have been here at one point or another. Like, we have to pull on these. Like, for example, dominant energy. Right now, I'm probably much more in my dominant ENFP energy because I'm leading a group. I'm talking, I'm guiding, I'm focused. I have to really be in that energy right now. If I was handling, maybe one of my children was having a really tough time today, and I was like in a more receptive mode, trying to counsel them or be there for them, I probably wouldn't, let's hope I wouldn't be in this dominant energy in that moment, right? I'd be in a more receptive energy, maybe more of a harmonizing energy, listening more, not directing as much, letting things emerge, connecting with them, trying to find out what the needs are in the situation. That's a whole nother side. And so I think it's important to know that we have these available. I think we can use them in growth. Antonia and myself use them in coaching all the time, like our personality life path program, even here on the Quest Club calls, if people are doing coaching, like live coaching. We use this all the time to help people kind of identify and shift their energies. So it's really powerful, especially everybody here that's gone through profiler training. As you're profiling, this kind of comes after the profiling, right? This will mess up your profiling if you're too worried about this in the discipline of profiling. But afterward, if you're offering help and coaching and guidance, this can be really powerful. And there are probably a ton of other applications as well throughout life as far as personal growth and attunement.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say even if you are just at the beginning of doing profiling, you can not go to subtypes, but you can ask a question. What is the person's role right now? Like, are they in a leadership position? Remember to factor that in when you're hearing what they're saying. Or, are they doing one-on-one counseling with people? That doesn't mean that they're a feeling type or NF or whatnot. It's just keep the role in mind.
Yeah. Okay. So those are subtypes. Also, I want to mention that we've been all week, Dr. Nardi's been leading a class in the other room. Everybody here knows this. I'll just also mention this for people that are watching live. He's been running a class called Profiler Training Tools of the Future. So it's for advanced students that have been through Profiler Training 101, and they would like to go and learn more about being a practitioner for the EEG brain imaging machine. So we've actually had students that have been connected. It's really cool too. My daughter Piper ran into the room earlier. It's like, can you believe it? Somebody lifted their leg and you could see it on the screen and all the brain waves were happening. And it was really cool. Darren, ITP Darren, showed me the report last night on what's generated from some of these scans, some of the insights that people have from these, the brain pattern wiring. And that's also part of the work. Part of this comes from some of this work you've done in neuroscience, the neuroscience of personality, and the EEG brain imaging also is part of why we know these subtypes have some legitimacy to them.
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to be talking about that or not, but I'll leave that to you in anything you want to do. By the way, if you're joining us live, we got to go right to this private Quest Club call. So if you are joining us live, you'd like to be part of this, personality.com/Quest. It's a membership program. I'd love to have you part of it every week. We come together as like minds. We discuss topics from the podcast. We do some journal prompts. We do breakout rooms for everybody to share, and then we give a challenge that week. We're also going to probably add some live coaching elements to this too. We'll have some hot seat coaching. I had this idea last night, where I'd like to start bringing people into a Zoom call environment. Maybe there's a challenge in their life, in their personality or their relationship dynamic, career dynamic. We're going to see if we can also do some maybe on the spot live coaching as well as this through a weekly cycle. I'm going to test some of that in the near future. So if you'd like to join it, we'd love to have you here. Part of this, if you're just kind of watching on YouTube or not, if you're part of the Quest call already and you're in the membership Zoom call, please just stay tuned. We're just going to have you roll right into this experience that's going to happen next. But I just wanted to say that to everybody watching as we tested this on YouTube as a live stream just to see how that goes. So we're going to go ahead and end that now. So goodbye to everybody on YouTube. If you want to follow us, come on over to Personality Quest, be a part of it. But we'll see you next week on the Quest Club membership at 11:45 a.m. Eastern time. See you there.